Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dixie Lincoln Nichols, and today is episode 18 of my 30-day YouTube challenge. Going strong, going. Okay, so today I want to share with you the 6 pillars of self-care that I use to help keep me consistent with my self-care practice. Because let's face it, self-care is not easy to maintain on a consistent basis. There is so much happening around us in the world, in our lives, in every aspect of our lives. We're being pulled from so many different directions, and the world has many demands of us, right? Demands in the workplace, demands at home, demands. And most of the time, most of us try to meet those demands. And sometimes we try to meet them at the expense of our own health and our own well-being. And I moved past doing that a long time ago. No, there needs to be harmony in my life, right? I work hard, I struggle, I succeed, I fail, I fall, I pick myself up, and I keep going. But the reason I'm able to do that is because of my self-care rituals, my self-care practices. And so it's not just for me, willy-nilly self-care. There is a method that I have put in place over the last 12 years. Again, you all know I left my job for a self-care sabbatical. That was it, right? Where I had colleagues leaving their jobs for a sabbatical. They were getting paid 80 and 85% of their salary to go study. I got nothing. My reward was healing. My reward was pouring into myself so that I can pour into others. My reward was tapping into my gifts and doing the work that brings me joy and also doing the work that I'm good at, that I'm great at, that allows me to be in service and support others the way that I want to, specifically women. So I don't just do self-care willy-nilly, like I said. There is a system in place for me, and this system works beautifully. Here are the 6 pillars of self-care that I utilize to support my well-being, that I utilize to help me stay committed to my self-care practice. And that helps me to stay as well as I can. And I say as well as I can because some days I feel lousy. And no matter what I do, no matter what I put into practice, no matter what resource I pull out from my toolkit, nothing works. Well, something works. Just allowing, just leaning into how I'm feeling, not forcing anything, and of course, setting the intention that it's going to work out and I'm going to feel better. So, here are the 6 pillars of self-care that I lean into to help support my wholeness and my expansiveness. This is not a perfect solution. It is just a solution. It is a guide to help me stay consistent, to help me remain consistent with my desire to feel as well as I can. And that's the best you can do. You feel as well as you can. You do the best that you can. So this helps me to do the best that I can. So it's kind of a framework. So in no particular order, number one, purpose. I need to do the things I need to do and the things that I feel called to do, right? You hear people say, this is my ministry, this is my gift, this is my lane, this is my area of expertise, whatever and however you want to refer to it. The purpose, the thing that you were born to do, to share, that does something for our well-being. When we are living in purpose, when we are providing the service and the support for ourselves and for others, it helps to amplify our well-being and optimize our well-being. It brings a sense of satisfaction and contentment that we're not just existing for ourselves, that we were put here to do something that is greater than us, right? So a lot of times people think, oh my goodness, it's not just about you. It's more than just you. I feel like that when it comes to my purpose. My purpose is more than me. It moves through me and I deliver it. So that's purpose, right? And you have to go in. You have to do deep reflecting and figure out what is your purpose on this planet. What are you here to do? What are you here to create? Who are you here to support? Who are you here to serve? Who are you here to guide? Who are you here to teach? Right? So that's purpose. The next is sustenance. And I look at sustenance very broadly. It's what you put into your body, what you nourish your body with. And so when I say sustenance, for me, it's nourishing my body, my mind, and my spirit. Like, what are those things for me that fills me up, right? What fills me up spiritually? What fills my body up? What fills up my mind? What are the things that I consume that makes me feel good about myself, that makes me feel well, that makes me feel aligned, that makes me feel like I'm in purpose, that I'm living in purpose, and brings me joy as well. Yeah, sustenance. So, yes, food. Yes, healthy, nourishing foods, wholesome foods, as much as you can. Yes, healthy mindfulness, what you're putting into your mind, what you're reading, what you are consuming on a daily. What are you saying to yourself? How are you talking to yourself? How are you allowing others to talk to you? Sustenance, spirit. How are you filling up your spirit? What are you filling it up with? And people have choices in terms of how they want to do that. Is it through a church community? Is it through a yoga community? Is it through a Qigong community? What areas are you utilizing to fill up your spiritual cup? Is it meditation? Is it deep diaphragmatic breathing? Because that is physical and it's spiritual, right? So that's sustenance. Then there is finances. Whew. I think this is the big one for me. Like, you're never going to be the best in every area. And usually I have an assessment that I give. I used to give, I've not done it in a while because, my work has evolved, but I used to give an assessment to women in my workshop, and then they will analyze what areas needed more of their attention and energy. And so they look through the six pillars, and then after the assessment, they were able to identify, well, I need to put more energy into my purpose because sustenance is great, or I need to put more energy into my finances because sustenance and purpose is wonderful, but my finances need to get more energy and be optimized more, right? So for some people, finances is a huge deal. And for especially women, right? Finances tend to be a major source of stress. And in the past, women were taught to take care of households. They were taught how to save money, but a lot of women weren't taught how to manage money in a way that allows them to make more money, how to invest money, how to grow money, how to create wealth from money. Now, there are a lot of women out there killing it, making money, and who have learned, taken it upon themselves, or had mentors, or through university, higher education, even just YouTube and all of these other areas where women are taking charge of their finances, not just so that they can save money, but so that they can build wealth, so that that wealth can be passed on generationally. And so, as you know, Black women are out here hustling harder than anyone else. And hustle culture is a whole other thing, but it is what it is. It's what I see women doing because, especially Black women, because there is this desire to close the wealth gap, right? But there is also a spiritual component to that, right? Going back to sustenance and spirituality and how you align your self with abundance, how you align your mind with an abundant mindset. Again, that's a whole different conversation, a whole different YouTube topic to talk about. But finances is huge, and women have had a lot of issues in the past asking for support financially, asking for any type of financial support or talking about their financial woes. Women have had issues talking about their financial insecurities or their financial problems or carrying the burden of shame because of poor financial decisions that they might have made because they didn't know better, right? We see a lot of changes happening, but finances is a pillar of self-care. As difficult as it is, we need to lean into our finances, face our finances so that we can make good, sound financial decisions for ourselves and for our future generations. Then there is recreation. Oh, yes, it's a self-care ritual for me. Recreation. It is a pillar of self-care and a foundation for which our well-being is dependent. So, finding time for joy, making time for fun, making time for recreation. There are lots of parents out there, mothers, who make time for their children's recreation, and when it comes to themselves, they leave themselves undone. You need recreation too. So, yes, make time for the children's recreation, but make time for your recreation as well. Factor it into your lives as much as you can. And I always say as much as you can because the structure in which we live in doesn't always allow us to do things as consistently as we would like to and as we deserve. So we have to work within the confines of what we have until we can do better, right? So have as much fun and joy as you can. Stimulate your body in a positive way. Increase those happy endorphins in your body, doing things that are conducive to joy, doing things that are conducive to supporting your heart. When you're happy and you find moments of joy, your heart sends a message to every single cell in your body that you are well and content in that moment. And that, my friends, does a lot of good for the body. Right? Again, I'm not going to dive deep into it. I want to kind of not stray too far from the pillars, right? Then there is relationships. Whew, oh boy, relationships of all kinds can be so challenging, right? So let's talk about the relationships that we have in our lives. We've got relationships with ourselves. And I want to say that first and foremost, our relationship with ourselves matter. Just like every other relationship, our relationship with ourselves has to take priority. So there's the relationship with self, there's a relationship with significant others, there is a relationship with children, relationships with siblings, relationships with parents, relationships with extended family members, relationships within communities, relationships within the workplace, et cetera, right? So there are so many relationships that we have to navigate. They can all, again, pull on our energies from all different directions. Within the space of one day, we can have so many different relationships, energies tugging at us and depleting us. And so it's important to find the right way for you to navigate relationships, right? I didn't say friendships either, right? There are friendships that we also have to deal with that can be quite complex at times and quite overwhelming at times. So relationships can be beautiful. They have the capacity to bring joy into our lives, to bring pleasure, to bring contentment, to bring happiness. They also have the ability to bring pain, to bring grief, to bring overwhelm, to bring chaos and confusion, all of those things. So, again, finding a way to navigate relationships healthily, key. So, again, this is when you seek support from therapists and from counselors and people who can help you to better understand your relationships so that you can move through them as healthily as possible. And then the last but not least is restorative practices. And so, what is a restorative practice? A restorative practice is anything that you do that restores a sense of calm to your body, to your nervous system, especially when your nervous system is in fight, flight, or freeze. And then there's the fawn as well. So, taking care of your self and having a strong foundation requires a restorative practice. And so, what does a restorative practice looks like for you? How do you restore yourself when you are, and I like to use this term, when you are overwhelmed and you're flustered and you feel like your body has taken flight or like you're levitating and you are off the ground. You don't feel grounded. You don't feel rooted. You don't feel anchored. That's a sure sign that you need to do something to restore your body's energies so that you can feel grounded. You can feel rooted. You can feel anchored and sturdy on the ground, right? So, what is that for you? Is it prayer? Is it meditation? Is it Qigong? Is it Tai Chi? Is it deep diaphragmatic breathing to interrupt that fight, flight, frozen state, right? That chaotic state that so many of us are in for sometimes no really great reason, right? It could be that you're just sitting at your desk drinking too much coffee and your body goes from calm parasympathetic system mode to chaotic sympathetic system mode because you are drinking too much coffee or because you're sitting at your desk worried about what you're going to cook for dinner and if your family's going to be happy with what you're going to cook for dinner, or you're worried about ironing the shirts or ironing the clothing, or you're worried about cleaning the house, or you're worried about finances, or whatever it is you're worried about that has your body in that fight, flight, freeze mode, which is very chaotic, right? So that diverts energy in the form of glucose from your digestive system to your extremities because your body thinks that, oh my God, something is wrong. We've got to get ready to flee because something may be chasing us. And there is nothing chasing you, and your life is not in imminent danger, but your body thinks it's in danger, right? And so, is that restorative practice some deep diaphragmatic breaths to shift your parasympathetic nervous system from a place of chaos to a place of calm where your body can indulge in rest, repair, and digest, which supports reproduction, which supports ease, which supports flow, right? So think about it. Really seriously think about how these pillars can lay the foundation for a much healthier body. So these are the pillars that I use to help me navigate my self-care practices that helps me stay committed to my self-care practice as much as I can. And they work beautifully. You just have to continually go through them from time to time so you can determine what you need to optimize in your life. So I do it quarterly, and every quarter I go over my pillars of self-care and I look at the areas where I need to optimize. I don't put as much energy into the ones that are already doing well. I put more energy into the ones that needs optimizing. So I'll put more energy into finances. I'll put more energy into relationships. I'll put more energy into sustenance, right? And so I can tell you for this entire year, because this year was just one of the worst years of my life, um, mainly because of loss and grief. So, one of the things that I had to tap into was sustenance and also finances. Like those areas were hard hit because of how I was feeling. And though there was progress in all of those areas, I needed to pay particular attention. I needed to put a lot of energy into those areas so that I could optimize my well-being, right? I needed to pay attention to my restorative practice and finding ways to restore my body because it was so depleted from the grief. I needed to pay attention to sustenance because of the grief. I wasn't eating the way that I should be eating. I wasn't nourishing my body because I didn't feel like it because I was so sad and I was just grieving. And then my finances were affected because I didn't feel like working at some point. So there were things that I was saying no to because I wanted to take the time to grieve and I wanted to take the time to tend to my body the way that it needed to, right? So you see how that works. But having these pillars of self-care will guide you, will hold you accountable, but most importantly, will create a foundation of self-care that will support you at every single stage in your life, no matter what you're going through. So just wanted to share those with you. Hope they helped. I'm going to drop them in the description so that if you want to utilize them, you can. Don't worry, at the end of my challenge, I'll share a lot more ways in which you can benefit from the work that I've done and the resources that I have. Right now, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. This challenge is for me to show up and get myself accustomed to sharing my work in this way. And again, being expansive in my work and in showing up and just being okay on video, you know? I feel so good. Day 18 and counting. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you for day 19 tomorrow. Saturday is going to be a short, and day 20 on Sunday, which is also going to be a short. Last week I forgot, and I was on a roll. I was supposed to do a short on Saturday and Sunday. Guess what I did? I did a video for Saturday, which is all good. And then I did a short on Sunday. So again, thank you. I will see you in the next video. Bye.